Hello and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm your host, Britton Hess. I'm here with my favorite Underdog Fantasy Pick'em plays for Monday, January 27th, 2025. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with promo code DailyDog. That's DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app for 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. Again, that's promo code DailyDog, DAILYDOG. One word at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app for a 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. You don't have to deposit $2,000 to get that $1,000. You can deposit $100 and get $50 for free. You can deposit $200 and get $100. You can deposit $25 and get $1,250. Whatever is good for you will work with that promo code. It is the best promo code out there. So make sure if you're new to Underdog, you're not selling yourself short and you're going to take advantage of that promo code because more entries gives you more chances to win. All right, let's get into it. We're going to have a big Monday here. I'll quickly look back at last weekend's entries. There was a lot of good picks I made, but just not on the right slips. I had 6 slips, and all 6 of my NFL slips lost over the weekend, despite me hitting about half of my actual picks on those entries. So it was just kind of a bad case of bad combos there. I mean, Shakir staying under his receiving yards despite having 6 catches was a little bit crazy to me. Kenneth Gainwell, higher than 8.5 rushing yards. He had 8 and then got injured on the kick return in the second half. So, yeah, that one was pretty much a bad beat, if I do say so myself. I mean, I'm usually not a bad beat person, but you know the rules on Underdog say that if somebody gets injured in the first half, then you get a refund on that entry if they don't return in the second half. Well, he returned for 1 play in the second half, the kick return, and then got hurt and never got his half yard needed to cover this number for us. So that was pretty much a very bad beat. Zach Ertz crushed his receptions. DeAndre Hopkins didn't get his receiving yards, though. So there was a lot to like and a lot to be a little bit upset about. Saquon Barkley lower than 126.5 rushing yards, finished with 118. Again, numbers that high are just hard to hit no matter who you are. There's a lot of ways for it to not hit, more ways for it to not hit than there are for it to hit, if you ask me. But it is what it is. Enough about the NFL last weekend. I'm going to put in my first Super Bowl entry. This is the way too early Super Bowl entry number 1 for me on the Daily Dog. DeVonta Smith, higher than 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns. I know that everyone wants to talk about A.J. Brown. Everyone wants to talk about Saquon Barkley. Everyone wants to talk about Jalen Hurts' touchdown ability. You're getting a very good multiplier on DeVonta Smith right now. I think because all those other guys, DeVonta Smith is still a very good wide receiver for this team. He's still he scored 8 touchdowns this year, so it's not like he's totally devoid of being in the end zone, but you're getting like a 1.73x multiplier. He hasn't scored a touchdown in the playoffs yet. Again, I think that's going to change. I think that there's going to be an opportunity for him to score because 2 weeks to prepare for the Chiefs. That's 2 weeks to think about how they use A.J. Brown, 2 weeks to find a way to stop Saquon Barkley, 2 more weeks to prepare for stopping the tush push, which you saw them against the Bills. They found a way to stop the QB sneaks as well. So I think DeVonta Smith comes into focus in this game, higher than 0.5 touchdowns. Pairing that with Travis Kelce, higher than 63.5 receiving yards. Travis Kelce, a little bit of a quieter day in the AFC Championship game. Did you see how the Commanders were able to attack the Eagles? It was with the tight end. I mean, it was 1 million catches for 1 million yards for Zach Ertz. Travis Kelce, I think, is going to similarly enjoy his matchup here. So give me Travis Kelce higher than 63.5 receiving yards. I think it's a little bit suppressed after a slow AFC Championship game. I think this thing's going to get steamed up to about 70 yards by the time the Super Bowl goes off. If DeVonta Smith gets a touchdown and Travis Kelce gets his 63.5 receiving yards, that's a 5.28x multiplier. All right, let's get into NBA for today. National Basketball Association entry number 1, Anthony Davis, higher than 42.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I think he's going to have a great time playing against this Charlotte Hornets team. I don't think they have really anyone who can match up with him well on the inside. I think Davis is like 30 and 15 game here, so 42.5, pretty easy number, I think, for him to hit in this matchup. Pairing that with Nikola Jokic, higher than 52.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Crazy high number, but not really for him. I mean, he's probably 30, 10, and 12. So, that wouldn't be enough. 30, 12, and 12, I should say, for Nikola Jokic, higher than 52.5 points, rebounds, and assists. The big man inside for the Bulls, Nikola Vucevic is not exactly a guy who's going to be locking that down. Nikola Jokic, I think that they're just going to try to outscore him. That's what the Bulls do. high scoring game here. So give me Jokic higher than 2.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And then that's a 3x multiplier. And then NBA number 2, we're going to Alperen Sengun higher than 0.5 three-pointers made. We haven't used this one for a while. His shooting 3-point percentage is actually down in this month compared to like where it was early in the season. That being said, traveling up to the Boston Garden, Ime Udoka returning home. I think Sengun wants to send a message in a matchup where, there's so many three-pointers shot by the Celtics. It puts pressure on their opposition to try to shoot some three-pointers. Sengun, again, he's capable of making a couple three-pointers in the game. We just need one here, and you get a nice multiplier on that. Pairing him with another center, Zach Edey, higher than 16.5 points, rebounds, and assists at the Garden against the Knicks. I know that Zach Edey has had a really, a couple good games back-to-back, but those have been home, so you might be a little skeptical that he can keep it up on the road. I am not skeptical. I think that Zach Edey has a super defined role. And if you look at his box scores, so his points are a little bit lower on the road, but he still can get 9, 10, 11 rebounds with good frequency on the road here. So Zach Edey, if we get like 9 rebounds, 7 points, and 2 assists or something, we're going to crush this number. So give me Zach Edey higher than 16.5 points with Alperen Sengun higher than 0.5 3-pointers made, 4.26x multiplier. All right, let's get into NHL. We're going to go with Travis Konecny higher than 0.5 assists for the Flyers as they host the Devils. I think that Konecny is obviously a great assist man, and I think that the Devils are a little bit inconsistent. This seems like a good spot for them to be let down and allow 3 to 4 goals. If that happens, Konechny's going to have a great shot at getting assists. Pairing that with Quinn Hughes higher than 1.5 points. Quinn Hughes, obviously, the top assist man for Vancouver, and 40 assists, 14 goals on the years, going to the Blues, Bennington, and not exactly what he once was. Good chance for there to be 3 or 4 goals scored for the Canucks. And again, if that happens, Hughes, great shot at getting involved in 2 of those points. NHL number 2, Leon Draisaitl higher than 0.5 goals, Macklin Celebrini higher than 0.5 goals, 4.92x multiplier. Oilers are at home hosting the Kraken. Great spot for them to score a lot. Draisaitl, 35 goals on the year. Need I say more? He's a great guy to have on your goal slips because you're getting him enhanced multiplier, even though he is one of the top goalmen in the NHL. And then the Macklin Celebrini thing. Celebrini against the Penguins. This is going to be a high-scoring game. I'm very, very confident this is going to be a high-scoring game. So it's a good spot to get in on young Macklin Celebrini there to get higher than 0.5 goals. If those 2 guys score, that's a 4.92x multiplier. All right, let's get into some tennis. Rebecca Sramkova, lower than 0.5 sets lost in Linz. This is going to be overnight. This is going to be a late night one this evening. I think that she's going to have a good time against Elizabeth Cocheretto in this matchup. I think she's going to be too powerful. Cocheretto is going to run around a lot, but I think Sramkova's shot making and ground strokes are going to be too much for her. Pairing that with Dania Stremska, lower than 0.5 sets lost in another matchup with a Italian, I think is going to get kind of beat up. Yastrzemska just is more power, better serve, better well-rounded player. So give me Yastrzemska lower than 0.5 sets lost. Both those women win in straight sets, which is Rebecca Sramkova and Diana Yastrzemska. That's a 5.87x multiplier. Tennis number 2, Alina Evanesian, higher than 21.5 games played. It's just an Evanesian thing. She goes 3 sets all the time, higher than 21.5 games played. Pairing that with Clara Towson, lower than 21 games played. Towson is either going to get hit off the court because she can't move, or she's going to be overpowering her opponent and getting the job done with great speed and lower than 21.0 games played. So that's a 3x multiplier. All right, I've got 2 Lotto entries today. One is only 3 picks and one is 8 picks. So one is alternate overs and one has a lot of alternate unders. Let me know what you think. If you think Lotto 1 with the less guys but more enhanced multipliers is going to do better than the Lotto number 2, which is a little bit more conservative, but you need a lot more to go right for you. So I just need 3 things to happen here for Lotto number 1. RJ Barrett higher than 2.5 3-pointers made as the Pelicans visit the Raptors. PJ Washington higher than 19.5 points as the lowly Wizards travel to Dallas. And Michael Granlund higher than 0.5 goals as the Sharks host the Pittsburgh Penguins. 22.57x multiplier or 11.28x, 2.8x if you're just going to flex it. So that's only 3 things, right? Next one. We need 8 things to happen, but they're a lot more high. But most of these things are much more higher probability of happening. LaMelo Ball higher than 19.5 points. Julius Randle higher than 19.5 points. Jason Tatum higher than 19.5 points. Zach Hyman of the Oilers higher than 0.5 points. Macklin Celebrini higher than 0.5 points. Connor McDavid higher than 0.5 assists. Talon Greek score higher than 0.5 sets lost in tennis. And then this is the one that juices it up. Sidney Crosby higher than 0.5 goals at the Sharks. 11 or 13.38x multiplier if that goes 8 for 8, or if it goes 7 for 8, 0.8x. If it goes 6 for 8, 0.41x. So which of those lotters do you think is going to do better? The lower variance, higher number of picks entry, or the lower number of picks but higher multiplier entry? All right, that's a lot of picks for us to sweat out on this Monday. Let's come back and do it tomorrow and be celebrating all these wins. Good luck, and let's make some money.